So now let's import our libraries, Axios libraries for API call. So let's write Axios. So as I said before in the previous video, these libraries is already pre-installed in HubSpot, this for the custom code. So we will just require it and we'll be good to go. And now I'm going to paste in a code block. So I have pasted some new codes here. Here, basically, the current date variable takes the date when the action is executed and format it in isostring format. And then we have the data variable. And in here, I have some objects that will be the JSON payload when we send it to our HubSpot Notes API. So what am I talking about? So let us go to the HubSpot developer documentation here. So in this developer documentation here, you see that in here, this is the intro, and we go down to engagements and go to notes here, notes. So this is the Notes API. You can see that all the endpoints are here for API call. So to create a node, we need to make a post request to CRM v3 objects notes. And in the request body, the node details in a properties object, and we have that. And also you can add association object as it with node. So basically the nodes property that you want to input, for example, the timestamp, this is required when the node was created, the node body, what is the text, the owner ID is the HubSpot owner ID, and if you want to send some attachment with the node, you can also give the attachment ID. Just like that, you can retrieve nodes with a node ID. Every node has a node ID. You can update the node with the fetch method. And one important is the association with nodes. So association is basically if we want to associate the node with a contact or company, we need to define this association key with an array of objects. 2 here means that which record ID are we trying to target, and this type means that what kind of association it is. So now if we go to the associations API endpoint, association v4, you can see that HubSpot have different types of association. So for example, if you want to create association between 2 objects from object type to object type, we need to define with this API. For our purpose, we see that if we see node to object, this is our API, the association type and ID we need. So node to contact, we need to node to company, node to deal, node to ticket. So this is the type ID 202, and association type is node to contact. And this association type is HubSpot defined. So that is why if we go back to our code, we see that in the associations, we have 2, the record ID. This will be the record that will be associated with the node. And association category is HubSpot defined. So this node to contact association is defined by HubSpot. So that's why it is HubSpot defined. And type ID is 202, that is node to contact. So this is the data. Now let's write the code to make the actual API call. So I'm going to write a try catch block here. And in this try catch block, I'm going to paste in some code of the API call. So here is the API call code in this try catch block. So as you can see that here we are doing the axios.post request to this api.hub API notes API with this data. This is the payload. And here, this is important. In this object, we need to have a headers key named object headers. Content type, you need to give it application JSON. And authorization, this is the bearer token authorization method. This is bearer. And process.env API key. So process.env is basically the file where you keep all the API secrets. So HubSpot, here we have set it up in our secrets that API key 1, this exact name we need to give here, this API key 1. And we are printing the result, what HubSpot is giving us after creating the note. And if a error occurs, and we are catching it in error and printing out in error.response data, this error is formatted by Axios response. And for output fields, we don't need any output fields because we are not using any output from this action to any other subsequent actions. But if you like, you can definitely parse some data from this response, from this note creation response, and put it in these output fields. So now what we will do, we will test this for a contact. So let's just, for this contact, we will copy this and we can test this custom code without even turning on the workflow. So I'm going to test this. So I'm going to paste this contact here, search. Okay. So if we test, so this is important, very important, because it basically says that as we are posting requests to the HubSpot API, it is going to modify something in our CRM. So basically, a note will be created in here. So as this is a test environment, test contact, that's why I'm testing this, but you definitely do not want to do this if you are doing it on a production environment, because basically if you create a note, that would trigger some more workflows or something like that. So just make sure of that. So I'm going to test this. So now our custom code is running. Let's wait. So, okay, we have HS execution status to be successful. And we see that HubSpot, as we console logged, like this console log result, basically whatever you console log here will appear in this logs section. So this is the ID of the node that was created. We can see the node properties are also came back from the response. So, okay, now let's go to our contact. Okay, so I have reloaded this page, and we can definitely see here that a note was created in this contact right here. This note we have in this declined offer named test note, and the note has been created here. And also, if you look in here, that there is one association. So if we drag down, we can see that yes, this node is indeed associated with one contact. This is this contact right here. So the association is also working fine. So if we also associated with it a company, the node will also appear in that company too. So this is how we can create nodes in our custom workflow action, and make sure you save this custom code, otherwise all of this will be just gone. And this is the workflow, and if we turn this workflow on for previous contacts, all the contacts will be enrolled here, and it will create a node for each of them. So I hope you found this video very helpful. So if you like this video, gives it thumbs up and comment below what are the problems that you face during this creating custom codes, or if you want to see more of this, please do share your thoughts. Thank you, and I'll see you on the next one.